Syon Smith, welcome to the show. What's on your mind, Syon Smith?
Well, Mark, first and foremost, man, salute to you for being consistent. You know, we've been doing this for a minute, and people go to their grave not being consistent. So you've been consistent, man. Almost 30 years I've known you. So always an honor to be on here and just, give people something that they can look at years from now. What's on my mind is always the same thing, man. We as black people getting to where we need to be here and throughout the diaspora.
So that's on your mind?
Always.
Was
Always.
but the point is, I was talking to somebody via social media on the chat, whatever comment line, and I said, "quote unquote." This may offend some people who don't understand what we're talking about, but I said, "quote unquote." I've given up on my people, meaning African Americans. For and I say that in tongue in cheek, but some people do give up. They say, I mean, what I mean by giving up, back in the day, growing up, I got a whiff of the Black Power movement and the civil rights movement, really civil rights, then the Black Power movement. I got a whiff of all that as a kid, but that
Right.
was 50, more than 50 years ago. So people ain't into all of that. So what are they into these days, as far as the uplift of African Americans?
Well, unfortunately, Mark, we've been in fight mode our whole existence. You know what I mean? So, we had a small spell and we were in build mode, which were the Black Wall Streets all over the country. But outside of that, in the 1940s, that stopped. So from us being emancipated to the 1940s, that was our building period. And since then, man, it's been divide and conquer. It's been black elite, black comfortable doing the follow behind whitey stuff, and the rest of us been just trying to survive and pull, make it press forward.
I say that because I was telling the guy on the social media, I have to remind myself that this ain't in the 70s and I'm in my 60s, and a lot of people do get tired. Some people are activists; they just natural activists. They're busybodies, but no matter what culture, race, or ethnic group you're from, most people ain't into activism. They're trying to watch TV and chill out and watch their little movies, and they're not
Right.
activists.
Well, when you say all people, I don't get into the all people conversation. All people ain't experiencing what black people experience. All people have their rightful last names. So I want to talk about what's unique to us because we have a unique stress that no one else on planet Earth have. And so what everybody else do, let them continue doing what they do. We got this extra stress that's killing us, taking us out, and so we gotta keep talking about it. We can't afford the luxury of going to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro and going down to see the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. we got
No, but
different type of pressure.
there are other people, quote unquote, other human beings, and there are African Americans, quote unquote, African Americans who disagree with you.
Oh
They
yeah,
saying, "Dude, what planet are you from?
yeah.
Just but this is 1965. Just have a good life. The racism ain't like it used to be. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and these are the same people who will let the textbooks say that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1400. So I would say this to the people who say just get over it, move on. It's called living the lie. I choose not to live the lie. I'm more of a realist, so I'm not going to sit here and play like certain things don't exist when I know they do. The fact is, all these museums all around the world have African stolen artifacts in them. I'm not finna just live my life and play like that's not true. You got zoos animals that they stole and took. I'm not gonna go to the zoo and play like my ancestors stolen items are stolen animals not there. So it's a matter of where you see yourself in terms of your destiny and purpose, and mine isn't to just play like that don't exist.
I'm here in the city of Chicago, been here all my life, and what I wish for, which is a silly wish in some degree, where these old neighborhoods, these old African American neighborhoods in places like South Side of Chicago, are so safe. The crime has gone down. The murders have gone down. We have like a 60-year low murder rate since like 1965. We've been ain't been below. Chicago has not been below 400 murders for a lot of different reasons. We should talk about that. I'm in the show on that. But the point is that I want to be safe where I can walk from my house to the red line.
Yeah,
This is the train, the L for you, those out of town. The red line train and go downtown or whatever and feel safe
yeah,
at night.
yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
It's
ever going to
it's
be
coming.
possible in these low income African American neighborhoods?
Yeah, it's coming. And remember, you're the founder CSE, Mark Sims, the founder of CSE, Clean Neighborhoods, Safe Neighborhoods, Excellent Schools. I used that during my mayor race in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah,
Clean
I
Neighborhoods,
used to
Safe
say that.
Neighborhoods,
I used to
Excellent
say
Schools.
that on my old TV show, public access TV show. But
Well,
keep going. We're
you
gonna
the
talk about
founder
these
of it,
crimes. Go
yeah, that's right.
ahead.
But yes, it's
Like I said,
coming. I mean,
I started giving up.
no,
Not
you
really.
just said it.
No,
You just said,
we
can
well,
you
we
walk
talk.
at night downtown? Can you walk from your neighborhood to the
Well,
red
man, can
line
I
to
can't
get
walk from
downtown?
my yeah, take the red line,
Yeah,
take the L downtown and back
yeah,
at night and feel safe.
yes,
And I'm really that's for women and children too. I mean, people and
yeah.
because there are other parts of the world, other countries where it is that safe.
Yeah,
But not here in
I would
America.
say this. I would say this because the key to what you just said, we couldn't have a society where the North Side was shielded, and all the violence was South and West. So it had to spread so that the people who were shielded, who didn't, they said, well, all they got to do is X, Y, and Z. They had to experience it so they'll know that if we allow a problem to fester on one side, it's just a matter of time before it gets across everywhere. So now that the crime is spread all over, North Side included, now we're all in the same bucket and the boat to do something about it. So I think it had to happen. It was destiny that the North Side got its fair share of carjackings, robberies, murders, things of that nature, so that they can get off the sidelines. Too many people was living in a bubble on the sidelines, and that's not a recipe for us solving anything.
Well, off the air, we're almost done with this little video. Off the air, I on the air, off the air, I always tell people that one reason why the murder rate is so low in Chicago and the crime is down, quote unquote, crime is down in Chicago, is because so many African Americans have moved away from the city of Chicago for a lot of different reasons. But one theory you gave me was that we talked, this is from you, that people who would commit crime are distracted because they're on the internet. They on these phones and whatnot, doing stuff on the internet, so they're distracted from street crime.
That's part of it. I would give people, we did a percentage. Moving away is under 30%. The reason why crime is down, because if you look around the nation, violence is down. You know what I mean? It's a few places that Memphis being one where it's not as safe, but everywhere else crime is down because the behaviors of the people have changed. And so that's what we're really dealing with. The environment is less than 30%. Them actually moving away because wherever you go, you are who you are when you look in the mirror. So if you're a violent person on the south side, Chicago, when you get to Memphis, you're still a violent person. However, what's also is a big part of what we're dealing with is people can get money in ways they couldn't get money back in the day. It's a lot of scamming going on now because you have this internet, you have this technology that you can do some things to get money that way. Now you're sitting at a computer doing bad, but that bad is not putting a gun to someone and taking what their property is. I get it off your credit card. I get it off of scamming you that way. So that's what's happening to me to lower the violence all over black neighborhoods across the country. Is we got a lot of people making money off YouTube, Facebook, getting stars sent to them. They're getting money other ways, and that's causing them to have to put time in front of these screens to get the money. So of course they're not out hanging out like they used to. Plus, marijuana is legal now in a lot of places, so you're not getting money that way. Still got your street hustlers, but it's different now. So I'd be real careful if I was governments from Boston, Chicago, New York taking credit for lowering the crime, because a lot of that that you're taking credit for is environmental changes to me.
So, and I agree with that. I hope the people who are much smart, quote unquote, much smarter than we are, who will study these things because the culture has changed. That's why crime has changed. But let me let you in this little video by tell the people what you do and how to get in contact with you, so we can continue to lower crime in lower income African American neighborhoods and across the country.
Well, let me say this first though, because we got to be careful. That's what happened with the north side of Chicago. We have to solve the problem. That we have to solve the problem. Just because you don't hear about crime, don't mean the symptoms, the things that lead to crime, it has gone away. There's still people out there hurting. There's still people who are in mental distress. So just because you don't see the shooting and killings, don't think that stuff is over. They're just coping with it differently now. So I don't want us to get to a place where violence is down, so we say, oh well. There's no oh well. Reparations are due. We have to repair what's happened to black people in this country. So I don't want us to look at this violence. Oh man, we can start withdrawing resources. We can start doing no. We have to address the real issue. Reparations is three things, Mark. The first thing of reparations is you have to tell the truth. That means you can't keep the lie going. I can't say sorry, but I'm keeping the lie going. Second is you got to give back what was taken. You can't keep my TV if you stole my TV, Mark. You telling me I'm sorry? No, you got to give it back. And there are a lot of stolen artifacts, a lot of stolen animals from Africa. They got to give back. The statues standing up there saying they founded this when they did. Those are lies. You can't keep that stuff up. And the last one is the money. People get caught up on the money. That's actually the last part. But the first two, you gotta say you're sorry, admit the truth, then you gotta give back what was taken, then pay. But going back to what you was asking me about, I think the biggest thing for us is two things as Black people worldwide, because we represent the truth. What I mean by that, no one else have endured and gone through what Black people have. So when you see a Black person, if you're a non-Black person, and you see a Black person, just know that there's some resiliency in that person just being alive. And those who did commit suicide, who took their lives, they ended it. But just know that they've been through some stuff that no one else have endured. Remember, Hina is we lost our heritage, we lost our ethnicity, we lost our nationality, and we lost our ancestry. No one else have gone through that. So I just wanted to make sure we know how deep it is, what we as Black people have to go through every second in this 86,400 seconds mark, just existing in this environment. So what we got to do is two things. We have to, as Black people, get on schedule, and we have to create layers of support. I call it predictability, and I call it guaranteed audiences. Those are the two things we have to do. Because in every arena, Mark, we're fighting and we're building. You got the lawyers fighting and building on the legal side, the politicians fighting and building on the political side, the nurses fighting and building on the health side. But what's missing is we haven't gotten in formation yet. See, that formation is when we get lined up so that we can get sizable things done. We doing pockets now, so we out of alignment. And then the last one is predictability. Mark, stability is predictability. You have a home, Mark. So you're a little bit more stable because if you was homeless, that's unpredictability. And now you're a little bit, every move you make is trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. That's us collectively. We're always in this instability market. So we're always worried and paying extra for stuff because we don't have that stability. And that's what the 7 daily living habits give us. Predictability. Every Friday is Senior's Day. Book it for the rest of your life. When you become a senior, Mark, no Friday is going to become more important to you because then they're going to come and cut your grass for free, shovel your snow for free. So I know that might have been, too much, but just know two things we got to do. That's all.
Thank you, Syon Smith, and thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.